Alright, hey everyone, this is going to be the introduction to episode 8, which is going to go over sort of the bare bones framework of the mutation system. And the next episode is going to go over the weather system. So, if we play the game, you'll notice that I've already have a few fruits planted, and you'll notice that, okay, we have some visuals in here. So, we have sort of some rainbow fruits and some golden fruits. And you'll notice that, okay, it works. If we equip a fruit that we already harvested and has a mutation, it'll show it, like so. And if we just, let's harvest like a random fruit right here. You notice that there's no mutation on here. So yeah, and you also notice that we also made the fruit value scale with the mutation. So you notice that, okay, this one's like 200. But if we equip this, 13,000. And you can obviously change this in the scripts. And if we go over here to our garden, and let's go plant some blueberries right here. And we're gonna wait for these to grow. So let's go ahead and just change the blueberry growth time value. Go over here to modules, our seed data, our blueberry seed. Growth time, make it like 2 seconds. And harvest interval, make it like 5. So, you notice that if we play the game now, it's going to be fully grown. And we have mutations on these. And over here, similarly, we have some mutations. Remove mutation, and oh, this one's golden, this one's also golden. And yeah. So if we sell these, you know, so the fruit is worth way much more and scales proportionately with the mutation. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be this video. It's going to be focused on growth mutations and sort of planning for the future for the weather system, which is going to be released either today or tomorrow, depending on my work schedule and things. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video, and sorry for a long wait. And please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Alright, hey everyone, welcome to episode 8 of the Grow Garden series. So yeah, sorry for the long wait. Had a lot of stuff to do and my internet was out for like half a week, so yeah. But now we're finally back, and I'm gonna show you how to do mutations. So, if you see in Grow Garden, you notice that there's a weather system and a mutations system, which those two sort of work in tandem with each other, because like if a weather appears, then there's a chance for you to have a mutation. Or yeah, a random chance for a plant or fruit of yours to be mutated. But in scripting wise, those two systems are separate from each other. So in this case, we're only going to script the mutations system for now. In the next episode, we're going to add in the weather system, which it'll use the mutation service that we create. So let's go ahead and, well, before that, these are the effects that I'm going to use, right? This is going to be golden, and this is going to be the sort of rainbow effect. So yeah, it's going to be in the description or in the Discord, so please get that if y'all want to use these same effects. But now we're going to actually script the mutation service, which is going to be pretty simple to script. So first off, we're just going to name this mutation service. And obviously we're going to want debris, and let's get debris serviced, and we're also going to get ReplicatedStorage. Like so. And we're going to get our modules and our remotes. And we want the seed module, the fruit name parser, and the get fruit value function, because we might need it in the future. And we also want cached modules. Like so. Alright, now always remember that module scripts have to return something, right? You can't just write this and expect this line of code to work. So for example, if I just don't return an empty table or something like that, then notice what will happen in the output. So if I play the game, you see that module code did not return exactly one value. So that's really important because that prevents all of these other modules from loading in properly as well. So remember to always return maybe a function or a table or anything like that. And right here we can say function service dot giveMutation, right? And then we want obviously the server model, which is going to be a model, and the mutation name, like so. But we also want the fruit number, which is going to be a number, and the mutation name. It's going to be a string. So because it's been a while, I'm going to explain to y'all again. So for every fruit that we have, we add it to this fruits folder right here. And the fruits folder is going to have a folder called 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on how many fruits it has. And it's going to have a can harvest, last harvest, mutations, and things like that. So we're going to say, okay, local server configuration, server model, find with child, server configuration. If server configuration, then we want to get the fruits folder. Server configuration, find with child, fruits. If fruits folder, then we're going to find the fruit number. So if we'll found fruit equals fruits folder, find with child, toString fruit number. Because it's a number, and when we do find first child, it has to be a string. So that's why we do that. We're going to say, okay, if found fruit, then. And we're going to check if we already have the mutation called mutation name. So, in order to check that, we can say, okay, if string.find found fruit.mutations.value, comma mutation name, then return, because they already have the mutation. Like so. Otherwise, we can just say, okay, if foundFruit.mutations is not equal to that, so if the mutation isn't empty, then we're gonna have to add on to the current mutation. So we're gonna say foundFruit.mutations.value equals foundFruit.mutations.value ... comma, and then we're gonna want to add in the mutation. So we're going to say mutation name. Else, if it's an empty mutation, we can just say foundFruit.mutations.value equals our mutation name. And we're also going to want to check if it's a valid mutation or not. So we can make a folder in modules called mutations. Like so. Whoops. Mutations. And in our mutations module, this is where we're going to kind of hold all of our mutations. So in this case, in this video, we're just going to add in 2 mutations. We're going to add in a gold mutation or golden mutation and a rainbow mutation, like so. So let's work on the golden mutation first. So we've sort of finished the mutation service for now. We're going to add on it to it later, but let's add in the shared mutations, which is going to be what we actually see in the game. So let's comment maybe like mutation effect. We want to get run service. Whoops. Run service. And we'll just say mutation effect, and we're going to return that. This can be called whatever you want. It can be called like test, whatever. It's just for you to know what this sort of module is all about. And we can say function mutation effect dot apply tool effect tool. So obviously this is going to be when you actually equip your tool which has a mutation. It's going to apply all the mutations on it. So you can visually see it. And we can say also make a function called remove effect. And this is going to be on the plants. So client model, our seed data, which is going to be a folder, and the server fruit part. And obviously, similarly, we're going to want to make a function called apply effect. Client model, seed data, and the server fruit part. So right here, since we know, if we recall, in our inventory service, when we created the tools right around, let's see, right here, you notice that we created it on the server. So we don't want exploiters to be like, okay, apply tool effect for every single tool. So you're going to say, if not run service is server, then return in. Because apply tool effect will only be called whenever there's a mutation right here. And we just apply it. We call the function. So we're going to say that. And we're going to say test.spawn function. And then we're going to add in our sort of golden part right here. So we can move it into this. And we can say, okay, script.part.golden. Or whoops, script.part.goldenMutation effect clone. Parent equals tool.handle. The reason we can do this is because remember, attachments always need to be parented to a part. So this is when we apply the tool effect. And right here we can say, okay, remove effect. So if seedData.multiHarvest.value, then we want to find the fruit. So client model find for child fruit underscore server fruit part.name. So server fruit part is going to be this right here. Is going to be this server model and this part right here. And of course, client model always contains something along the lines of fruit underscore corresponding to the number of fruits that we have. So this works, and we can say if found, then we're gonna want to loop through all of the parts or descendants of this sort of client fruit right here. And we're gonna say, okay, if v is a attachment and v.name equals our gold mutation effect, then v destroy. And otherwise, if it's a single harvest, we can just loop through the client model, because the client model doesn't contain any fruit underscores in it. Because if you look at carrot, you see that there's no fruit underscore 1 and things like that. So similarly, we'll just say copy and paste that, and that's for removing the mutation effect. Obviously, for the rainbow, we'll just call it rainbow mutation effect, or whatever the name is, rainbow effect, and vice versa. And we'll just say over here in our apply effect, if seedData.multiHarvest.value, then we're going to find the fruit model. Client model find for child fruit underscore toString server fruit part.name, like so. And if fruit model, then we'll want to find the parent, which is the primary part. And we'll say parent, then we'll say script.parent and GoldMutation or script.part and GoldMutation effect clone.parent equals the primary part. Because we only want it to clone to a single sort of model, right? Because we don't want it to clone to every single last part. We only want it to clone to one, which is in this case the primary part. So that's why we do it like this. Otherwise, if it's not multi-harvest, we're just going to clone it to the normal primary part. So script.part, go to mutation effect clone.parent equals client model.primary part. And yeah, this is going to be our sort of golden mutation effect. So now over here, you might be wondering, how exactly are we going to use this function? So, alright, so if you refer to the Grow Garden wiki, you'll notice that gold, right over here, let's see, golden. Alright, so essentially, whenever you plant a sort of crop in Grow Garden, there is a chance for the crop planted to immediately have one of 3 growth mutations. Golden, rainbow, or you just have no mutation, right? So this is going to be whenever you plant a seed right away. So keeping that in mind, we can make a function called MutationService getRandomGrowthMutation, right? And we can say, we can add seed data right here, folder, if we want in the future. But in this case, let's make it around an 80% chance to get golden. So let's just say random.new right here, and we'll say if random next integer, and we'll say let's do 0, 100 is less than or equal to 80, then we're just going to return, let's say, return golden. And this is going to be our mutation. Otherwise, we're going to return none. Obviously, it's not going to be 80%, but in the future, we can just change this to like maybe 10%, 1%, things like that. So yeah, for now, let's just make it 80%. And in our, let's go to our seed service. When we actually plant the seed right here, we can say, all right, get the mutation service. Mutation service. And then right here, since this sort of a line runs the moment you plant a seed, we can randomize it. We can say, okay, mutation service dot get random growth mutation, right? So we can say, okay, local growth mutation, mutation service dot get random growth mutation, right? And then right here, we can say growth mutation, like so. Or we can just run the function and yeah, it'll still work the same way. We can do this, or we can just do that. And let's go over here to our mutation service and we can say, okay, print yay golden, like so. And yeah. So this giveMutation function is only going to be used for weather scenarios. So let's say let's say it starts raining, right? You want it to have a random chance for it to give it a wet mutation. So the giveMutation function will be called, and this is assuming that the server model is there and everything else is there. So the reason this won't work for just planted crop is because the server model hasn't been created yet. So this function won't work. It will only be used for weathers, which we'll do in the next episode. So obviously right now there's going to be no visuals because we haven't done anything regarding calling this script yet. But if we go ahead and just play the game and we go over here to our seed shop, let's buy some carrot seeds. And let's go to our garden and let's plant some seeds. You see, okay, it says yay, golden, right? You know, that means it works. And of course, right here, if we go over here to our planted seeds, and let's go to one of our carrots that we planted. Let's find the one that had the mutation. Might have been this one. Rather than doing this, let's just, let's see. We can also just print the sort of fruit key right here. So we can say this, and we can just say I, like so. Or nil, I. And then that'll just print out the sort of number of the fruit. Comma number. Let's go over here and buy some seeds. There we go. And you notice that every single one of these blueberries are in fact golden. So if I go over here and go to planted seeds, server, and find the blueberry, you notice that all of these fruits have a golden mutation on them. Like so. And obviously you can't harvest these yet. There's a little timer. But yeah, that's just showing the functionality of it working. Now, the way we want the visuals to work, right, is obviously we're going to use our CropReplicator right here. And we're going to make a new function called MutationsChanged. We want our client model, the mutations, the string, seed data, and the server fruit part. Like so. And over here, we can say for mutation name, comma effect module, and cached mutations do. Now, obviously, there's no cached mutations yet, so we're going to do that up here. We're going to say, okay, local cached mutations, and for underscore comma v in modules.mutations get children do, if v is a module script, then cached mutations v.name equals require v. So essentially, it stores every single one of the mutations that we have in here. And we can say if string.find mutations, the string right here, comma mutation name, then we're going to apply the effect. Otherwise, we're going to remove the effect. And we're going to say effect module.apply effect. And if you recall, remember to always pass in these parameters that we made for it. Apply effect client model, comma seed data server fruit part. Similarly, we're going to remove the effect. So remove effect using these same variables because that's how we scripted it. And now we have to go over here to our harvestable_changed function because this is where we actually clone in the fruits and things like that. So we're going to check if the mutations are changed. We're going to say server model dot fruit prompt or dot server configuration dot fruits, our fruit number, dot mutations dot changed connect function, and we're going to say mutations changed like so. And obviously we want our client model, the actual mutations value, the seed data, so if you notice in here, okay, we don't have the sort of seed data variable passed in yet, so we're going to want to pass in that variable right here, and it's going to be a folder. Then over here, when we actually call harvestable_changed, we're going to just want to pass in the seed data right here. And seed data, like so. And we want to go up here and add that in. So seed data, and then we're going to want to add in the server fruit part. And we're going to want to add in the server fruit part, which is going to be server model.fruit prompts, the fruit number, like so. And that should be good. And we're just going to want to copy and paste this mutations changed on the outside. Because what if the mutations haven't actually changed yet? We're going to want to establish the current mutations that are already there. So that's why we do that. And now, we only did it for the multi-harvest. We also want to do it for the single harvest. So let's go right around here on the bottom. I'm going to say copy and paste the same thing. And that should be good. So now let's see if there's anything else that we need to note. Should be good. Alright. So now if we go ahead and just play the game. Oh, let's see what happened here. Client model, server configuration. Server model.fruit prompts. Ah, I see. Okay, always remember that there's no fruit prompts in carrot. Remember, there's only a primary part. So here we're to say server model.primary part, and then we'll also to say server model.primary part, like so. And now if we play the game, you notice that we have our mutations effect on all of the fruits that obviously are mutated. So yeah, that's exactly what we want. And if we go over here to carrot seed and we plant, and say okay, golden. And let's see. Yep, there we go. You notice that the effect is enabled. Let's try to plant one more. So notice that while it's growing, it doesn't have the effect yet. But the moment it finishes growing, that's when it sort of applies the effect. That's because we wait until the model is fully grown, until we actually create the prompt and the mutations and things like that. So yeah. And obviously when we harvest these, you'll see, okay, we have golden on here, but there's no effects yet, right? And let's say we pick up like a regular sort of carrot, and we go over here and sell it. You notice that, let's see. Alright, so you notice that if we sort of look at our carrots, right, this one's golden, so you're under the assumption that this should be valued higher, but for some reason it isn't, right? So the reason for that is because we didn't fully finish the sort of growth mutations thing in the getFruitValue function that we did. So right here, this is fine. We're just defaulting it to 1, or in this case, none. But we're also going to want to loop through our sort of mutations right here. So we'll just say, okay, if our mutations, which is going to be a table, so we can say if mutations mult, which is going to be the string, so none, golden, rainbow, then we're going to set it to 50. So right here, I just added a statement called print growth multiplier. And if we play the game, you'll notice that this should be valued much higher. Oh, let's see what happened here. Alright, and we also want to change this to, these are backwards right here. So we're going to say multiplier string and the sort of number right here. So right here, instead of doing that, we can just add it on number, like so, because multiplier is none, number is 1, golden 20, rainbow 50, like so. And that should work. Whoops. Alright, so now if we play the game, you'll notice that the fruit worth actually scales properly now. And yeah. So now let's actually work on the visual side of it. And let's remove all these print statements right here. So the visual side for equipping the fruits, we're going to go over here to our inventory service. And we're just going to get MutationService up here. Right. And as well as that, we want to cache in the mutations. So we're going to make a new sort of empty table called mutations effect cache. And we're just going to want to cache in all the mutations. So we're going to say for underscore comma v modules.mutations get children do. So basically the same thing that we did in the main script right here. So we can just go ahead and just copy and paste all of that. And service.mutations effect cache, v.name, and yeah, should be good. So now over here, when we actually create the tool, you can say, okay, giving mutation effects. Let's put this in a new thread. We can say for underscore mutation string and mutations do. So remember, it's going to be in an array. We can say local effect module equals service.cache mutations mutation. If we found the sort of mutation, then we're just going to want to apply tool. Apply tool effect and the tool clone, like so. And that is all we need to do for applying the mutations that we have. And this will work for every mutation that you add in. So now if we play the game, you notice that we have our little effect on it. And obviously normal carrot, no mutation. This one does have the effect. And you see that the pricing works as well. And if you bulk sell, you notice that your money goes up a lot with the notification. And let's go ahead and try this with a blueberry. So you notice, okay, we have a golden right here. This one's also golden. So the bigger one should be the more expensive one. Go to your fruit worth, it's worth a lot. And this one's worth a little bit less. So yeah. Alright, now that that's done, this is gonna sort of conclude the video, but I want to add in the rainbow effect to show y'all how sort of easy it is to add in effects or mutations. So we'll go over here and duplicate golden, and we'll call this rainbow. And we'll just go ahead and move this part in here. And since this is called a rainbow effect, we'll want to check for rainbow effect. So rainbow effect, and that should be good right here as well. And that's all you need to do. Obviously, this is very versatile. You can change this to however you want, right? Just remember, remove effect removes it from the client model, or if you applies it to it. And this is for the tool model. And now, right over here, we can go to MutationService, and we can say, okay, let's make it like a 50% chance. We can say, let's comment all of these out. Or rather, we'll just say 50. And we can say, okay, with random next integer, 0, 100, less than or equal to 50, then print yay rainbow, and obviously the number, and return rainbow. Like so. Returning just tells the script that was called what the mutation name is to give it. And that should be good. And that's pretty much how you add in sort of growth mutations for now. We haven't went over from actually applying mutations into a fruit directly when it's already been fully grown with the weather system. But the gist of it is that you can just duplicate this and change it to whatever you want. And then obviously make a loop that sort of randomizes when you get the mutation, and it should work. And now if I go over here and sort of start planting seeds, you see that, okay, we got a rainbow fruit. This is going to be this carrot right here. And you'll notice that the effect automatically works. And if we harvest it, you'll notice that, nice, the rainbow effect works. And this should be very, very expensive. Yeah, 18,000. And if we sell it, we get 18,000. And obviously our blueberry is going to be way more. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much going to be the end of the video. Now I'm just going to go over, rehash what we did today. We made a new folder called Mutations, right? Which contains 2 growth mutations that we have. Which, what growth mutations are, is that they are mutations that are created or randomly given to a fruit when they are first planted. So, in both of these scripts, we have the same functions. We have apply tool effect, remove effect, and apply effect. Like so. And those names are really self-explanatory. The next thing we did is that we fixed the sort of get fruit value function. So we mismatched these sort of index and value things right here. So that fixed it, and we just updated the multiplier based on what the growth mutation was. An environmental multiplier is obviously going to be for weathers, which we will do later in. So this part is going to be for weathers, for getting the fruit value. And now the bulk of what we did was in the mutation service, the inventory service, and the plot service. So we created a new function called getRandomGrowthMutation, and we applied it. We made each sort of mutation, growth mutation, a 50-50 chance, get rainbow or golden. And this giveMutation function isn't used in this video at all for now, right? It's only going to be used for weather scenarios, which is going to be in the next episode. And in our inventory service, right around here, we actually gave the mutation effects. The apply tool effect function was put to use for the tools to actually have the visual sort of effect to it. So for rainbow and golden. And in our plot service right here, we forgot to sort of reset or give a new mutation to the newly grown fruits. So we just say MutationService right here. And we'll say MutationService dot getRandomGrowthMutation, like so. And that should be good. Now, in our seed service, this is where we actually gave the fruit the mutation when we first plant it. So right here we said, okay, local growth mutation equals getRandomGrowthMutation, and we set it right here. These two variables here were just for debugging, right? Or anything else you want to add on in the future. So you can just ignore these for now if you don't really need them. And yeah, next up on the client is where we handled the visuals for it. We created a new function called mutationsChanged, which sort of looped through all of our mutations and checked if there was a mutation there. And we either applied or removed the effect based on if they were there or not. In a harvestable changed, we checked if the mutations were changed and we updated them. We called it twice. Similarly, in non-multi-harvest or single harvest, we did the same thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the final product you should have is if we go over here to seeds and let's buy some seeds. You'll notice that we already tested it out. We have some golden fruits or golden carrots right here, which the visuals work. Plant some more seeds. That's nice. We have rainbow, we have golden, and when it fully grows, you'll notice that the effects work. This is rainbow, we have rainbow, and our golden fruit is right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. The next video is going to go over the weather system, and it's probably going to be released sometime this week. Not going to be next week, so yeah. Thank you, sorry for the long wait, and please like, comment, subscribe, and peace.